let's do the truck driver sentenced to over 110 years.
That's rowdy.
Yeah, I know. I saw that and I was like, we got to talk about this. That seems excessive. Not to take away from what happened, but like 110 years. So let's get
all kinds of stories about this.
First
like
off,
different
hold
angles.
on. Do you know how wicked you have to be able to tell a person they going to jail for that long?
110 years.
I couldn't even say that shit. I'll vomit. 110 years. Like, what are you doing?
Oh,
just say the rest of your life. Just tell me that.
What are you saying? Like, you want it to be that much more impactful on me? You want it to hit me that harder?
What are y'all doing?
With the words to
like
smack
when they
me
tell a
across
nigga,
the
when
face?
they tell a nigga, I'm trying to do better about cursing. When they tell somebody, you getting 7 times life. Oh, really? 7 times life. Okay. As if one life. Well, I think one life is 60 years, so you might be able to do that.
I think it's 20, unless that's in a different country. Somewhere I heard that life sentence is 20 years, but I don't know if it's the U.S.
Life is 20? Really? Are you sure? I honestly don't know. I genuinely don't know.
Yeah, I might be wrong about that, but I'm. It's either like Europe, a life sentence is 20, or in the U.S. it's 20. But I'm not.
Real quick, Ian. Yeah, I'm really curious about this. On the side tab, look up how long is a life sentence. I'm curious to know how long that is. No way it's 20 years. 20 years seems
too short.
Exactly. Like, is that wrong? Like, it's still long. 20 is still a long time, but for a life sentence, that seems too short.
60 or 80, and now I'm second guessing myself.
I am too. I don't know if Ian's struggling or if he heard me.
It might be different per state, because I looked it up real quick and it said different stuff.
Okay. Well, let me just dive into this and then. Oh, I guess Ian's got it here. Okay, so how long is a life sentence? In most of the United States, a life sentence means a person in prison for 15 years with the chance of parole. It can be very confusing to hear a man sentenced to life, but then 15 years later they are free. The reason this happens sometimes is the defendant, in some cases, is allowed to live the rest of their sentence on parole. Parole is when, so it's 15 years. So it does vary by state, like it says here, but average it seems to be 15 years.
Yeah, because the reason I thought that you say really outrageous numbers is because they need to push past just saying life sentence because it's jargon.
So, wow, I just learned something today. Life is around. Even Ethan knew 20 years is life.
I mean, it's still a long fucking time.
Wow, it's still a long time to get me wrong, but
it's still gonna derail your fucking life. Like, you're gonna be a different person afterwards.
All right, well, let's get into this.
With no parole.
Okay, so
25 in Georgia.
It was hard for me to find an article that talked about exactly what happened because all the articles are about pretty much him trying to reduce his sentence and get resentenced. But basically, this truck driver, does it say his age somewhere on here? I thought I saw it earlier when I looked this up. He's young. I think he was around 22 or something like that. He was in his early 20s. But let me just read this, see if it dives into it. So late Friday afternoon, October 15th, the jury in the trial of the truck driver Rogel Aguilera-Mederos. I'm butchering that. Doc, could you help me out here?
Rogel Aguilera-Mederos.
Yeah, there you go. The way it rolled off the tongue.
Yeah. There you go.
Found him guilty. I'm a disgrace. Found him guilty on the 27 of 41 charges against him in regards to an April 2019 crash, including 4 counts of vehicular homicide, one of each of the people who died in the incident. Here's a breakdown of the guilty verdicts. 4 counts of vehicular homicide, 6 counts of assault in the first degree, extreme indifference, 10 counts of attempt to commit assault in the first degree, extreme indifferent, 2 counts of vehicular assault, reckless, 1 count of reckless driving, 4 counts of careless driving causing death. The sentencing here is
the top one and the bottom one are the same fucking thing.
Maybe it is. I don't know, but it does sound like the same thing, just different words.
Yeah, the only difference is that there's an adjective in the bottom one that says careless, because the top one doesn't have the adjective, but it's the same effect.
All right. Scroll down, Ian, real quick. Doc, Ethan wants you to show off the tat. Let's see. Scroll down a little more, Ian. Okay. I'll go back up real quick.
Ethan said, is that tribal Inca? What's up, Noel?
Nah, it's Meso American, so a little bit north, but like central Mexico.
Go down, Ian. The wheels of slow in the Houston Bob trucker sentence. No, go down. Stop. All right, this podcast is sponsored by Angel Blinds. Shout out Angel Blinds. It's a local business based in Atlanta, Georgia. Check them out. Their blinds help you get a new look for your living room, to your bedroom, to your dining room. They even customize kids' blinds with their favorite superhero or princess. Make sure you get Iron Man. He's the best. Shout out. With our promo code FDT, our audience gets 10% off their first purchase. You can find them on Facebook at Angels Blinds or their Instagram at Angels_Blinds. Shout out Angels Blinds.
Ooh.
Where did I see that? Well, basically what happened is this guy was going down a slope and his brakes gave out.
Yes.
The argument is whether because apparently when you're a trucker, you're trained to use your engine's brakes in some situations over your actual brakes, because you can apparently, I don't know what the term is, burn out your brakes or whatever it is. But basically, he was going down the slope, was using his actual brakes, and the brakes gave out, and he was just going, which obviously, as we see here, resulted in 4 deaths. And I saw some.
Didn't it come back that the brakes were recalled or something like that? Like there was.
I don't know about
they were
that.
Found faulty.
I don't know about that. And if that's true,
I think that's the whole reason that everybody's even signing the petition.
Okay.
Other than that, why else?
Because this 110 years seems a little excessive for what happened.
No, it doesn't. If he was at fault.
I mean, if he's at fault, granted, but still 110 years. If the initial charges of him doing it maliciously and intently, I
don't
guess.
agree with that.
But exactly, that's why I got 110 years. So that, like, I would want more information. But if I just heard that, I would be like, yeah, 110 years doesn't seem right. That's excessive.
So in your mind,
that's more than an actual murderer.
But do you count each person, or do you count it as a group thing?
I think they counted it per person.
Yeah, I think it's
I'm
up
saying,
there.
do y'all
Count?
Pardon me.
If it's malicious, yes. Like, yeah, I would count it per person.
But what do you mean by count per person and count as a group? Like, what would be the difference?
When you're taking it into just the feeling of it feeling too much, like too many years. Because when I hear 4 people dead, and if it was an error that was within his control, then it's okay. Because what is that? 30 a person, a life sentence a person, or whatever. So that's why I'm saying it didn't sound too crazy to me. But when I hear the brakes gave out and the brakes were faulty or whatever it was, that it wasn't his fault, then it's like, y'all didn't take that into account.
Yeah. Why didn't y'all sue the company over him? Because you would get more.
Look up the brakes. Something else happened with the brakes that came out.
Yeah,
it may be misinformation, so I do want to find out.
No, I got you. Real quick look on the side, Ian. Did the brakes go out? And just type in his name. I'm not even going to try to say that name.
Well, because if the brakes went out and it wasn't his fault, and the whole last 4 counts of the careless driving, that's not his problem. Like, he braked, but the brakes didn't break, but they actually broke. So that's this whole other issue. But I had also read, and this also might be misinformation, that he was drinking.
Okay, that's
drinking would be a whole other issue.
Yeah,
for sure.
whole other issue.
Wait, none of his charges had anything to do with DUI.
And they would have been if he was drinking. 100%. I would think so. I would think so.
Yeah. I think he got 110
failed.
just because of the stack of counts and the way they basically tallied up the stacks.
No, we know they failed him. We don't know if they were faulty. I guess were they faulty? Because the argument is they failed because of him, because he was going down the slope using his brakes instead of, I guess, a mixture between engine brake and braking. The question is,
were they actually faulty?
Were they actually faulty prior? Exactly.
Defect.
Manufacturer. Exactly. There you go. That's a better way to word it. Manufacturer defects. So what Ethan said right here, the sentence was so harsh because before he started on the downslope of the hill, he knew his brakes were faulty. He also had emergency turnoffs that he could have used. Okay, if that's true, that's wild. Okay. That does change it up a little bit. I just hear the 110 and I don't know, it's just like, that seems just like for me, my initial reaction was that seems excessive. Like, I'm not trying to discount the 4 deaths. Like, that's messed up. You should face some kind of responsibility and repercussions for that. But 110 years?
But then also, I'm not.
Colorado has a minimum. They have even though you get found guilty or not guilty on certain charges, every one of them has a minimum count that you have to come for. And so I think that's what fucked him. That the minimum they gave him was 110 or something like that.
And I'm not saying he deserves 30 years per person. I'm just saying when I hear it, I wasn't shocked because you hear shit like that. Like 110 years, that's not even my first time hearing that shit.
Really?
Yeah.
I think that's probably my first. I don't think I've ever heard that high of a number. I can't honestly.
I think I've heard one.
I mean, I have like
69.
in movies and shit.
Yeah, Bob say movies, but like actual cases, no, like 169.
Yeah, but those are like national cases too. Like Brian Nichols, he got a crazy amount of years. That's the one who shot up the judge in the courthouse. Went on a run.
It's all good, Ian.
And then the white lady talked him out of it.
And
then sold a book.
Yo, thanks for making it to the end. We really appreciate it and hope you all enjoyed the show.
Make sure you hit that subscribe button, that like button, and the notification bell to get notified when we post our clips.
Follow us on Twitter at PodcastFDT. Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok are all fake deep thinking. Check us out, please.
FDT. Peace, y'all.
Peace.